What if I told you that a simple cartoon, a show meant to make us laugh, has somehow managed to predict the future? Not once, not twice, but dozens of times. From technological breakthroughs to political events, even global crises, The Simpsons has an uncanny ability to foresee what's coming. Is it coincidence? Or is there something deeper, something more mysterious at play? Today we're diving into the bizarre, almost supernatural phenomenon of how The Simpsons has become the modern-day Nostradamus. For over 3 decades, The Simpsons has been a cultural juggernaut. It's the longest-running animated series in history, with over 700 episodes. But beyond its humor, satire, and iconic yellow characters, the show has gained a reputation for something far more eerie: its ability to predict the future. From Donald Trump's presidency to the invention of smartwatches, from the discovery of the Higgs boson particle to the rise of artificial intelligence, The Simpsons has seemingly seen it all, years, sometimes decades before it actually happened. But how? How does a team of comedy writers, working on a show that's supposed to be absurd and over the top, manage to get so many things right? Is it just a series of lucky guesses? Or is there something more deliberate, more calculated, happening behind the scenes? Let's start with some of the most jaw-dropping predictions that have left the world scratching its head. The predictions that came true. 1. Donald Trump's presidency. In the year 2000, The Simpsons aired an episode titled Bart to the Future. In it, Lisa becomes president of the United States and casually mentions inheriting a financial mess from her predecessor, Donald Trump. At the time, Trump was a businessman and reality TV star, not exactly someone you'd expect to see in the Oval Office. Fast forward to 2016, and the unthinkable happened. Donald Trump became the 45th president of the United States. The eerie part? The show didn't just predict his presidency. It also depicted him descending an escalator in a scene that looks almost identical to footage from his real-life campaign announcement. Coincidence? Maybe. But let's keep going. 2. Smartwatches. In a 1995 episode titled Lisa's Wedding, we see a glimpse of the future where Lisa's fiancé is wearing a watch that allows him to make phone calls. At the time, this was pure science fiction. But in 2014, Apple released the Apple Watch, and suddenly, the idea of talking to someone through your wrist wasn't so far-fetched. 3. The Higgs boson particle. Here's where things get really strange. In a 1998 episode titled The Wizard of Evergreen Terrace, Homer becomes an inventor. At one point, he's seen standing in front of a chalkboard with a complex equation written on it. Years later, physicists discovered that this equation closely resembles the formula for the Higgs boson particle, also known as the God particle. How could a cartoon predict one of the most groundbreaking scientific discoveries of our time? 4. The Disney-Fox merger. In a 1998 episode titled When You Dish Upon a Star, a sign is shown that reads 20th Century Fox, a division of Walt Disney Company. At the time, this was a joke, a playful jab at Disney's growing influence. But in 2017, Disney announced it was acquiring 21st Century Fox in a $71 billion deal. 5. The COVID-19 pandemic and murder hornets. In a 1993 episode titled Marge in Chains, Springfield is hit by a mysterious virus called the Osaka flu, which spreads rapidly and causes widespread panic. Sound familiar? While the show didn't predict COVID-19 specifically, the parallels are hard to ignore. To make things even stranger, the same episode features a swarm of killer bees, eerily similar to the murder hornets that made headlines in 2020. How does this happen? So how does The Simpsons do it? How does a cartoon manage to predict the future with such accuracy? Let's break it down. 1. The power of satire. At its core, The Simpsons is a satirical show. Its writers are experts at observing trends, analyzing human behavior, and exaggerating them to absurd levels. Many of the predictions are actually logical extensions of what was already happening in the world. For example, the idea of Donald Trump running for president wasn't completely out of left field. He had flirted with the idea in the 1980s and 1990s. 2. The law of large numbers. With over 700 episodes, The Simpsons has covered an enormous range of topics. Statistically speaking, some of their jokes and storylines were bound to align with real-world events eventually. It's like throwing darts at a dartboard. If you throw enough, some will hit the bullseye. 3. Writers with diverse backgrounds. The show's writing team includes some of the sharpest minds in comedy, many of whom have backgrounds in mathematics, science, and even philosophy. For example, David X. Cohen, one of the show's writers, has a degree in physics. This intellectual diversity allows the show to explore complex ideas and concepts that might seem far-fetched at the time, but later turn out to be surprisingly accurate. 4. The collective unconscious. Here's where things get a little more mysterious. Some people believe that The Simpsons taps into what psychologist Carl Jung called the collective unconscious, a shared pool of knowledge and ideas that exists across humanity. Could it be that the show's writers are unknowingly channeling future events through this collective consciousness? 5. The butterfly effect. There's also the possibility that The Simpsons doesn't just predict the future, it helps shape it. Think about it. Millions of people watch the show. What if some of the ideas it presents, like smartwatches or even Trump's presidency, inspire real-world actions? Could The Simpsons be planting seeds in the minds of inventors, politicians, and decision-makers? Theories and speculation. Of course, not everyone believes these predictions are purely coincidental. Some conspiracy theorists argue that The Simpsons is part of a larger plan, orchestrated by powerful elites who use the show to subtly reveal their intentions. Others suggest that the show's creators have access to classified information or even time travel. While these theories are far-fetched, they add to the mystique surrounding The Simpsons and its uncanny ability to foresee the future. Conclusion. So, what's the truth? Is The Simpsons a prophetic masterpiece, a statistical anomaly, or something else entirely? The answer might depend on how you view the world. One thing is certain, The Simpsons has left an indelible mark on pop culture, not just as a source of humor, but as a bizarre, almost mystical force that seems to know more than it should. As we continue to watch the world unfold, one question lingers. What will The Simpsons predict next? Stay tuned, because the future might already be written in Springfield. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the strange and mysterious world of The Simpsons, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Who knows? Maybe we'll uncover even more secrets hidden in plain sight. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and remember, the truth is often stranger than fiction.